Hey everyone, how's it going? Doing something a bit different today. I've got a little job to do on the Bandit. Nothing major, but I've had an issue, well, since I got the bike actually, whereby the neutral light, let's flip the camera around. So she'll go into neutral, no problem, if you can find it, but you don't always get a neutral light. And a lot of the time, no, side stand's not affecting it. A lot of the time, if you flick the side stand up and down a few times, the neutral light will come on. Because of course the issue is, although it's in neutral, that lights and that, you're faffing about trying to find neutral without the light, and it's a bit of a pain. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop off this cover, and underneath there we can get to the neutral sensor. And I just want to, I've bought some contact cleaner, and I just want to give it a spray and try and clean it up a little bit. See what we can do with it. So let's get into that. Okay, so let's get this cover off. I'm using Allen key. A lot of my tools got nicked when the garage got broken into, so we're kind of back to basics a bit, but I've given them a spray with some WD. You can just about get the Allen key in to crack that one off. Okay, so that is in a bit of a state in there. But what we're trying to get to is, if you can see it on the camera, this one here. Let me just put the there you go. Yeah, it's that. That's what we're trying to get to. So I'm just going to give the outside of all of that a bit of a clean up. All that crud, I'll give all that a bit of a clean, and we'll pick it back up from there. One of the tools that I nicked was my tool roll that I keep on the bike, and even had the old toothbrush in it, so I've nicked one of the nippers toothbrushes, these funny ones. It's not going to do a lot, I don't think, but it's better than nothing. Just a bit cleaner. I'll pop this one out and we'll have a look at the inside. Okay, so that is slightly better. Turns out that it's actually white. Who knew? Or kind of cream coloured. Anyway, let's get that thing off and see what's going on inside. By the way, this is amazing. Got this for Christmas from my daughter and her husband. My old knees absolutely love it. So if you're watching, guys, thank you very much. Right, let's get that cover off and see what's what. Okay, so there's a few things going on here that make me a bit uneasy. The first thing is that this top bolt is not an Allen bolt at all. It's a Phillips screw, or machine screw possibly, which was quite loose to start off with. And this bottom one, if the camera will focus, is presumably the original. What's that one? That is a H4, 4mm I've got going in there. Because of this banjo bolt here, I can't get it dead straight, and there's a bit of resistance on the thread, so I don't want to shear anything, so I'm going real slow at the moment on that one. Obviously working them both at a similar sort of pace, that's more important, putting them back in, but I think there's going to be some sort of gasket on that switch, so I'm going to keep winding these out, and we'll see where we go. Okay, that's those two out. Threads are okay on them actually, but I'm just going to wind a bit of copperies onto them for when they go back in. A little bit of that, and on that one. Right, so that should, excuse my hand in the way, with a bit of gentle persuasion, just come away. There we go. Yeah, there's a bit of crud in there. So that piece that you can see protruding sits down into that top hole. So I'm just going to give everything a bit of a spray with the contact cleaner and just give it a sort of gentle clean up in there, put it all back together, and just check the seal. There's a rubber seal on that as well. Stick it all back together and see where we go. One thing I would say is I would use electrical contact cleaner in there. Don't be tempted to use you know, brake cleaner or WD-40, because they'll break down certainly the plastic and rubber that's in there. Maybe do some damage to some of the other surfaces as well. So I would definitely stick with electrical contact cleaner. You might get away with carburetor cleaner, I'm not sure, I didn't say that. But yeah, so just be careful what you do spray into that. So that's it, it's back in place. Obviously I will try and source the proper bolt for that top one. And when you're winding them in, make sure you're matching how tight they are as you go in, because obviously there is a rubber seal in there which is going to get a bit distorted if they're tightened unevenly or one's tightened too hard before the other. And speaking of which, because I've got the Phillips head on that one, they're both quite a fine thread on the bolts, so because that one's a Phillips, I can't wind it in too hard by hand. I mean, obviously I've done it hand tight. I could have gone harder with the you know, with the ratchet and the Allen head on that lower one, but I've tried to sort of match how hard I wound them in. There's probably a torque setting when you've got the proper bolts in there, which I haven't. There's probably a torque setting somewhere for them, which you might want to look at, but I'd be very surprised if it was much more than sort of hand tight, firmly hand tight. Anyway, that's back on and cleaned up as best as I can. So let's have a look. Obviously what I'm hoping for, hang on, I need 2 hands for this, excuse the camera angle. Turned her on, clutch out, and look at that, neutral light is on. So let me just have a play with the side stand. I mean, I think that was pure coincidence that was affecting it. It might even have been the sort of action of that smacking back on there was dislodging some crud. You know, you just don't know, do you, with all that stuff, but neutral light has stayed on. So when I take her out for a spin, I'll know for sure, but I'm hoping that's solved the problem. So I hope this has been helpful. Drop me a comment if you've got any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. But stay safe out there, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye for now. Okay, by way of an end note, that didn't work. So I got my hopes up when that neutral light was coming back on, but as soon as I put it into gear and just rode up and down the garages here, dumped it back into neutral, it found neutral, but the light didn't come on. So there's something deeper going on there. I don't know, I'll have a little think about that. If I come to any conclusions or I have any success with it, I'll post up another video. But in terms of that fix that I showed you, I have seen that working. There's other people on YouTube who've had Bandit 1250s and 650s and found that fix has worked for them. So if you have the same problem with your neutral light, go in there and open up that sensor switch, give it a clean. It certainly won't do any harm, but it does look like someone's been into my one before because of those weird bolts that have been put back in there. So yeah, it's one for a further investigation. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will finish the video there and catch you in the next one. Bye for now.